why do we even do CrossFit? What is this all about? Why are we doing this? Why do we put ourselves through this? Everyone's got different reasons, questions, and answers. I think the biggest thing you could do for yourself is have a really good sticky why. And one of my buddies, Cam, finally got his sticky why. And I think you're going to find that his journey may be similar to yours. So my sticky why is I do this because I want to be healthy and fit enough to coach my kids' kids in soccer, or actually really anything. CrossFit doesn't really matter. Okay, so what are we doing here first at the gym? We have the Open coming up. Let's see, I think that is February 16th. So here is their website. It's CrossFit.com. If you have not signed up for the Open yet, please do so. It's only $20, and you'll get a coupon for $25 at Noble. You can go buy something. Of course, be aware that there's really nothing that's under $25, so you're going to spend more, but they have really cool stuff. Jamie and Danny are setting up everybody in teams of 2 for a fun competition. So your name will go in the hat and will be pulled out, and then we'll get different colors and we'll fight each other Hogwarts style. So it should be kind of fun, except there's no flying brooms or anything like that. For the 3 nights that the CrossFit Open is happening, so it's starting February 16th, ending March 6th, we will not have the 4 and 5 p.m. class. We will only have the 6 p.m. class. And we would love it if everyone actually skipped most of the classes and came to the 6 p.m. We all did the workouts together, cheering each other on. There'll be fun stuff out there. I think one night I've been told I'm buying pizza for everyone or something like that. So yay. And of course, it's got bread, so I won't eat it. But it's a great way to refuel after throwing down in the Open. The next bit is, I think I said the date wrong. So Laura is going to do her nutrition Kickstarter April 28th, not February 28th. So April 28th. So be looking for an email that'll come out for that. In addition, we still have CrossFit Education. If you guys are interested, just go to CrossFit.com, click on Education, and you can find events near you. The Level 1 is an awesome course. It is $1,000, and it is a long weekend, and the test is pretty intense, but it does give you an awesome insight into what we're doing. Another opportunity for you guys, as I mentioned, if you have friends, and we did Bring a Friend. Actually, this video I'm making before Bring a Friend, but it'll come out after Bring a Friend week. So if you have people that didn't make it to Bring a Friend, but you want to bring them in, I will give you your own class. So you just pull together 4 or more of your own friends and text me, and I will set up a class just for you. It'll obviously have to be around normal class times, but we'll do stuff just for you guys because I want to help and I want you to introduce this to whoever you can. So as soccer season gets closer, this offer may be harder to actually deliver, but I will try. Next thing, I had mentioned programming and some thoughts on that before. So there is something called CAP, which is CrossFit Affiliate Programming. I am eyeballing, maybe we'll do next. I'm also interested in really pushing some progressions versus scaling. So if you look here, this guy is doing I'm on CrossFit's main site, looking at one of their posts, and there's a guy doing pull-ups, then he's got the variations. So rather than just simply saying, hey, I'm going to modify, I can't do pull-ups, I'm just going to do something totally different. Instead, we do progressions. So the coach may ask you to do something different if you've done it, or maybe you're on a band, he says, let's do jumping, or maybe let's do one-legged jumping, or let's transition over to ring rows. So those progressions are important. So it's not just some random, let me just do this thing. We would like for everybody to eventually get pull-ups because they are good for you. They're gymnastics. They help you really put together things in your head, so it's a good neurological adaptation. Anyway, we want everyone to get there, so we do progressions. So some of the scale that we do or modification is really around the idea of progressing you to that. So you're the only one that really knows where you were. So help us when we give you these options, figure out what's going to make sense for you as we scale or modify. And as some of you guys may be brand new and not know, and I'm going to go through this next section, the programming, as if I am brand new, that scaling and modifying is totally cool. That's what we do. We want you to scale and modify, not specifically because I never want to do that, but because I want to grow into that. Now, I do modify and scale a bit because my knee got banged up in a biking accident. So I just got to be smart. And then that's a little different. That's not because I don't want to do it. Well, actually, it is because I don't want to do it because it hurts sometimes. But I'm protecting myself for longevity. So, our overall goal is to be healthy and fit now as well as when we're 90. The next thing that I'm going to put up there is some ideas for you to ponder. So we do strength, and it should be in the Metcon, or it should be just something that we do and give it the full breadth and time of the class. But in order to serve the audience, everyone likes to do a little bit of lifting. We do it a little bit quick, which I'm not a huge fan of, but we program it because whenever I try to change it, people get mad at me. So I'm going to start talking about my ideas of change so that we can have conversation. And maybe one day I'll make a month or a week or something to change this out. But for example, if you were to do muscle hypertrophy, which is basically I'm tearing down the muscle so it'll grow back up. They don't really have an exact science for it, but if you go, I know it's not the best place to go look, but if you look at Wikipedia, it's going to tell you that, hey, we don't really know what we're doing, but basically if you read right there, you want to fatigue your muscles and create muscular damage so that it breaks down and then builds back up. So rest is important, but the idea is you don't necessarily actually have to lift more than you did the other day. You have to have a relative intensity that's higher than what you did before. Meaning, hey, I'm tired today, I just can't lift as much, but when my body feels it, your body doesn't actually know the number, your mind does. Hey, I lifted 200 pounds on a back squat, and today I'm doing 175. Your brain knows it, but your body doesn't. Your body feels like, oh dang, this is sore, this is tired, this is hurtful, and that's hypertrophy, right? That is muscle growth. So the other day we did some back squats. I felt like I was rushed as a coach to get you through the back squats and then into the Metcon. And the Metcon didn't have any huge external loads. It was wall ball and box jump. So I would have loved to flip that around and said, let's use the Metcon to really get warm. So when we get into the back squat, you're ready to go, right? So there's a difference in like if I'm warming up my back squat to get to 100 pounds, but then another member is warming up their back squat, I don't know, to get up to 300 pounds. The time it's going to take us to get there is going to be different. So we need to be a bit more warm. This is why when you guys work out around me, you see a lot of times I'm still wearing a sweatsuit or a sweatsuit. Yes, I am in a sweatsuit, a leisure suit and a sweatsuit. I'm in a hoodie and some sweatpants or something because I want to be incredibly warm so that I can be more flexible. And I'll use the after portion of the workout, the cool down rather than jetting. I'm going to roll because, well, it's good for you. So one thing I would like to do is put strength at the end of a workout where it makes sense. I mean, obviously, if we're doing heavy deadlifts in the workout, I'm not going to waste the warm-up of a heavy deadlift by putting it at the end and not do it, right? We'd be doing way too many deadlifts. So now there are some workouts that literally have you do 1 rep max at the end of the workout, and I love those. I can usually lift the most I've ever lifted once I'm good and sweaty and tired. Okay, let's move on. So the story, my friend Cam, who I've known since high school, has tried CrossFit once before. Years ago, he's like, yeah, I'm going to go try it. He calls me up and said, hey, I just threw up out the side of my car. I am never doing CrossFit again. I'm like, okay, well, did you go slow and easy? He said, of course not. So actually, I don't know if he actually said of course not, but he didn't. So this time around, he had to unfortunately help his mother into a assisted living center, and in doing so, he had to help move her around. Many of us have had that happen, and we have to move our parents around because, well, I don't know, they are where they're at. So he found his sticky why. Hey, I want to be able to move myself around no matter the age that I'm at. Okay, perfect. Finally, he says, Andy, what should I do? I'm like, well, I mean, you should do CrossFit. So he and his son-in-law were looking at CrossFit. He found himself a gym. He said, I'm going to give it a try. I said, buddy, I know you don't really want to listen to this, but go easy. The coaches are probably going to tell you to go easy, but go super easy. You want to go easy enough that when you walk out, you're like, I don't know if I really did anything. That's perfect because CrossFit is going to sneak up and bite you because you're going to move things you didn't know you were moving. So he did, and he's doing well, and this is some of the stuff he said. And so it's neat to talk to longtime friends doing this or brand new people at our gym doing this and just get their perspective because you forget. Like I had a great conversation with Alan Lindsay, and he's like, hey, I think sometimes you should just remind people, yeah, you could totally use chalk because sometimes you feel like I shouldn't use chalk. I'm not lifting enough. If your hands are slippery, use chalk, right? So I'll get into some of that later on. But anyway, so if you look, I thought this was kind of interesting. If you look in our area, look at all the assisted living or the older senior living communities that are available around us, right? I would hazard to say 15 years ago, there might have been one. So they are popping up everywhere. The baby boomers are getting there. We will be getting there eventually, and we want to be able to move. So anyway, in his story, so he said he just did 3 foundations classes, and he felt like a newbie, which is great because you are. Let's see. I had gone to a regular class this Monday, and something we did hit my core because my abs were super sore. Then we did some sit-ups today, which felt like torture. So yes, that's CrossFit. Because it's full body, you're going to use everything. So he's like, something we did was abs, but I don't know what it is. I mean, you're squeezing your core all the time. I love it. My children are always like, we need to do more like sit-ups, get my abs sticking out, Dad. I want those abs. I'm like, you have core day every day when you're here. If you're not squeezing, engaging, then you're going to be messy all over the place. And so we have them blow out all of their air on a lift. And they're like, yeah, I can't lift. I'm like, right, got to engage your core. Granted, we're not doing a sit-up, we're not crunching it, but it's engagement. It's ab day every day. So then anyway, he says, this was my 5th class of the month, and I'm going again tomorrow and Friday. Good for him, consistency. So far, I'm enjoying everything, but the soreness is something I'm told will never go away. Or actually, it'll go away after a few months. So yes and no. So the level or the I'm dying level does go away, but you'll end up being able to push yourself. That's the funny thing about CrossFit. You'll always be able to push yourself more. Therefore, you're always going to be building. So if we just did the workout Grace 30 clean and jerks. If I did it in 10 minutes, then next time I should be fitter, right? Or have a better strategy, and I'm going to do it in 8 minutes. So yes, I'm going to be probably as sore or more sore. And then I'm going to be fitter, stronger the next time we do it. We're going to do it, now maybe do it in 5 minutes. You're like, why is that workout still hard? Well, you've just decreased your time from 10 to 5 minutes. Of course it's still hard. Your work output, your intensity is twice as much. So anyway, he had some questions that I thought I would answer. Again, the insight or the mind picture of the new person is something that I have a hard time getting into because I've been doing this for a very long time and I don't think about those questions as often. So I love getting these questions from you guys. So first one, will I be able to do this stuff or am I too old and out of shape for this? So the answer is yes, you can do it. Yeah, we'll have to modify and scale, but yeah, you can totally do it. It's the needs of the Olympic athlete and our grandparents don't differ by degree. It differs by kind. I'm sorry, I totally did that wrong. It doesn't differ by kind. It differs by degree. So the Olympic athlete needs to stand up and sit down. Our parents need to stand up and sit down. So the kind, we need to do that. But the degree to which it needs to be done, our parents do not need to go down the ski slope in that chair position, bashing down the flags as they hit moguls and race to the finish. So it differs by degree, but the kind of stuff we need to do is the same. So yes, you can do this. So his next question is, will I look like or feel like a moron? So I guess yes, if you have that in your head, but everyone comes in brand new, not knowing what to do, and that's what the coach is for. So I wouldn't say you look like a moron. I would say you just look like you know what you're doing yet, but you will. And the great part is, every single person felt that way when they started. So not a single person is ever going to say anything or make fun of you because they were there. On the flip side, they're all rooting for you. You don't know it, but they look over and when they see you squat correctly, they're like, yay. All right, this one's actually kind of funny. Will everyone be younger than me? So at 50, I'm going to say 10% of the people will be older and everyone else is going to be younger. Does that mean you should stop? No, because what you need only differs in degree, not kind. So anything you do is going to move the needle forward. Stick to it, right? Going from nothing to something is beautiful. Am I stupid for trying this after so many years of inactivity? No. What's stupid is not doing anything and expecting the same results. That's the definition of insanity, right? But the other part of stupid in this would be, hey, I haven't done anything for a while. Let me jump right back into fitness and just hammer it down. That would be irresponsible. And we tell people all the time, go easy. So next week for me, since I'm doing this early, is bring a friend. So when you listen to this, it should have just happened. And hopefully the coaches told everyone that is brand new and with you as a friend, do 30 seconds on, do 30 seconds off, or do 1 minute on, do 1 minute off. That way they have permission to slow it down, because trying to overdo it is probably the biggest problem when you start into it. Yes, I can stand up and sit down. I do it all the time, but you don't do it with this repetitiveness or volume or intensity. So nobody is stupid for trying this, but you do need to be smart and go slow and steady. Give yourself permission to take the time it takes to get there. It took me and you 50 years to get to where we are. Well, let's give ourselves at least a year, right? I mean, maybe not 50, but give ourselves a nice year to mold into this, to really engage and to find the sore spots and roll them out and all that good stuff. All right, will I injure myself and end up quitting? If you go easy and listen to your coach, no. If you think, oh man, I was a football player and I can totally smash this, then yes. Ego, I think, what does it say? Ego or pride comes before the fall, something like that, right? The only one I ever really remember is that the geek will inherit the earth. I know it doesn't say geek, but sure seems like the geek have inherited everything. And I count myself as a geek. I'm just waiting to inherit. But so will I injure myself and end up quitting? No. If you are smart, which I think you're seeing it from this perspective, you're doing the right thing. So everybody else that's out there that's starting, just go easy. Take your time. There is no rush. The best step is the first step, and then just keep making them. I will tell you this, that if I've seen people try to do in 30 days, which should take 6 months, and when they're done, whether it's losing weight or trying to get big, they lose everything they've got because it wasn't a real gain. It was unsustainable. So slow and steady. All right, next one is, after the first class, how on earth does that skinny little girl and that middle-aged mom lift so dang much weight? Okay, so that is true. This happens all the time. Guys, especially, you feel cut off at the knees. I don't know what the right word is. Like, wait. If she's doing that, shouldn't I do that? And the answer is no. Some of the girls in our gym have been lifting and doing CrossFit for years, and you can't really judge a book by its cover. You have to actually ask the question, hey, how long have you been doing this? To understand how much time and attention they've put into what they're doing. So yes, the girls may lift more than you, and that is totally fine. You know what you should do? You should walk up to them and high five them and say, man, I am glad women are lifting, because for so long they were told don't lift. So I love to give them a high five, let them lift, and aspire to get there slowly over time. But yes, they probably will lift more than you for a while, and that's okay. All right, so brand new member point of view on programming. Let's see here. There we are. All right. If you're watching this on video, you can see it, but if you're listening on the podcast, I am going to try to explain these workouts to you. And again, I'm taking it from the standpoint of a brand new person. So I've been doing CrossFit for less than a month. I'm going to say I'm a 40-year-old guy that hasn't done, I'm going to be Cam. I'm a 40-year-old guy that really hasn't done too much because I'm living life, supporting my family, putting them through school. And I'm like, hey, I just got a good sticky Y and I'm going to do this, right? So, okay, so I am that guy. I haven't really done too much. I've just got started CrossFit. How would I approach these workouts? So this workout is Monday, January 30th. There is a warm-up, of course. There is some weightlifting. It looks like to be push jerks. And what are we doing here on push jerks? All right, is a 4 sets of 5. So this is 20 lifts, basically. And therefore the weight isn't going to be that hard. So this is the first time we've done push jerks as a strength in a bit. So it's the beginning of its cycle, which I hate using cycles, but it helps us teach form and it helps you get used to the loading. So this is what we do. This is what they always do in weightlifting. So here we are. So we're doing a 4x5. So brand new person, I would probably just stick to the bar. I've never done a push jerk. Hopefully the coach takes me through the progressions. I really pay attention to them. I just stick to the bar. We have a 15-pound bar, a 35-pound bar, and a 45-pound bar. Sometimes when you do these movements, you need a little bit of feedback to really do it right. So the 15-pound bar might be too light. So maybe I'll do the 45-pound bar and really understand that feedback as I push down and catch it in that squatted position. And then I'll just stay there. And I'll probably do some extra lifts, maybe some strict press just to stay warm. And I would ask the coach or wait for the coach to come by me and then I would do them. And then I would probably pair up next to somebody like, I would go next to Matt, say, hey, looks like you've been here for a while. Yes, I have. Do you mind if I lift opposite you? Would you kind of eyeball me and just give me what you think's happening? And they're probably going to say yes, right? So now you've got an extra set of eyes on you. Make sure they've been there for a while. You want to pick someone else that's been there, that's brand new. They're like, yeah, sure, you're doing right when you're like lifting upside down. That'd be weird. Okay, so as I had mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of doing all this extra strength up front, but I do like the way this is programmed in here, in the fact that we do the push press, which leads us to the workout, which is shoulder to overhead. That just means take the bar from your shoulders and put them over your head. You can do it as strict press. You can do it as a push press. You can even do it as a push jerk, which is probably what everyone would do. The weight here is pretty dang heavy. 155 for guys, 105 for girls, and then it's you have row. This has some built-in rest because you have to move back and forth between the elements. So you do 2 shouldered overheads and then 2 calorie rows, and then you build up. So it's 4 and 4 and then 6 and 6, right? So each round you increase by 2 reps. I'm the brand new guy. What would I do? I am just going to do the bar. And of course, row, we've probably gone over that. It was probably in the warm-up, or at least we did a few strokes together. So I understand what I'm doing there, positioning my back. I would probably change this workout to 1-1. That way it slows me down and I can't go too fast, and I'd really work on that form. So I have 12 minutes. I would do one shouldered overhead, 1 calorie on the row. I know you're thinking, why? That's a waste. It's just getting you moving, getting you started. Then 2 and 2, then 3 and 3, right? Go back and forth. It's going to take me longer to get through them, but I'm also transitioning more. So I've created more built-in rest. Of course, make sure you log all your results so you can see your progress over time with the miniature aspects. Like in this workout, we have shoulder overhead and row, so maybe it's in there and you can add something. All right, on Tuesday, we start off with an EMOM on the bike and running. So I'm a brand new person. It's a 30-minute workout. I know, well, your power output, let me draw that again. I'm going to actually describe it this time. So we have on the x-axis is your time domain. On the y-axis, I'm just going to call it effort domain. So it's 1 unit of effort, whatever that is, right? So just know that 2 units of effort takes twice as much as 1. 3 is 3 times, right? So in a 30-minute time domain, I'm going to put ticks at 10, 20, and 30 on the time domain. It should look something like I'm just going to arbitrarily pick 10 efforts. So I got 10 effort points. And let's say I'm starting there at the 10-minute mark. It's still there at the 20-minute mark. Maybe I've slid up a bit to 12 units. And then as I finish, I'm tapering back off below 10. So it looks like a relatively straight line with a little bit of a mountain and then a valley at the end. So it should be relatively consistent, right? So we're working on that longer energy capacity. So the aerobic cycle and stamina. So yes, I'm a brand new person. What do I do? All right. The beautiful thing here is everything is made specifically for your ease of rest. When do I rest and how do I do it? So in minute 1, it says I'm supposed to do 12 calories on the bike if I'm a guy and 10 if I'm a girl. Minute 2, I run 200 meters. Minute 3, I'm resting. So we have built-in rest. So on the flip side, if I'm not brand new, I am hammering every one of these because I have built-in rest. And if I get done with 200 meters, I have more rest, right? So I'm hammering them to a degree that doesn't make me fall and die and barf all over the floor because it is 30 minutes. So 10 rounds basically. But going back to the brand new person, I just started. I'm going to go 30 minutes. Yes, that sounds great. I'm going to go in that first minute and go at a moderate pace and then look at that calorie count. Let's say I do 8. I'm like, okay, my goal is to shoot for 8. And then on the 200-meter jog or run, I am going to maybe go to the 50-meter mark so that I come back in early. And then I'm going to look at the clock and judge that and say, well, what did I do that in? Could I go a little bit further? So I am going to not necessarily care about marking my results, but instead I'm going to understand my body. So I know I get a minute's rest, so that's great. I'm going to jump back on the bike. I'm going to do my, let's say it was 8 calories. And then I'm going to get off and I'm going to go to the run. And that time, instead of going to 50, I'm going to go maybe 2 steps past it, turn around and come back and see how I'm feeling. So I can use this to gauge where I'm at and how I'm feeling. So I can easily go, yep, I feel it weird. I can pause and just take a big breath. So I'd use this as an opportunity to see how I move at that longer time domain. All right, then there is a finisher. So I would stick around and do that. I'd always roll and stretch. Don't just walk out the door. Rolling and stretching is super, super important. All right, on Wednesday, I'm going to diverge a lot here because we have back squat. I believe that the 1 rep max should be given the entire time of the class. I know I have to program for a larger audience, and this won't go over well with everybody. So this is where I would give you the leeway to say the coach is going to tell you, hey, we've got 20 minutes on the back squat, and then when we're done, we're moving over to squat clean. If you want to prioritize your back squat, stay there. If you're lifting and you need a spot, please let me know or find someone that'll lift with you or be available to bail. But move your bar away from everybody else and stay there. If you're feeling it and you're like, yes, this is the day I'm going, great. I'm a brand new person. I've never really done the back squat much. What I'm going to do is get the bar. I'm going to do that a few times, make sure I'm to depth, staying on my heels, ask the coach questions, find somebody that's been doing this a while, have them kind of eyeball me too, make sure I'm not doing anything stupid. I'm going to add a little bit of weight. I probably wouldn't go over my body weight. Not probably. I definitely wouldn't go over my body weight. I might get close to it, but that's going to be a good indicator to me is I'm getting too far along and I'm not really used to this. So my stopping point is going to be, whatever I weigh, I'm not going to go above that. I'd probably even stop at an easy one just because the weights go on this weight, 135, right? So, when you put 2 plates on, 1 plate on each side of 45s in the bar, that's 135. So it's just an easy weight to go to. So I'd make sure it's easy, and I would do lots of reps. I would not do 1 rep max. I would do sets of 8 or sets of 5, something that is nice, slow, and a long lift. So I would do lots of time under tension. And if I'm worried I may not make it, that's way too heavy. That's not where you're at. You want to be able to do 10, but you're stopping at like 6 or 8. So again, we're in that learning phase. All right, so I'm doing the next part of the workout is the squat, clean, pull-up workout. Let's pretend I'm not really sure what a squat clean is, so the coach is going to have to teach me. I'm going to be like, sounds interesting. I think I've got it. I'm going to stick with the bar. I may even go to dumbbells. So I'm going to stick with that. It's going to be lighter. So instead of 135, doing 8 at 135, I'm now doing 8 at 45. And then pull-ups. Okay, I haven't really gotten there yet. I just started. What can I substitute? Now, I would substitute to a progression that gets me towards pull-ups. So what would that be? Well, I just did the back squat, so I'm probably not going to do jumping pull-ups because my legs might feel a little bit tired. And the squat clean is a lot of legs. So I think I'm going to go either ring row, or I will rig up some bands and do banded pull-ups, or maybe even negative. So I do hangs. I jump to the bar, I hold, and then I slowly lower myself. When you get to the part of the lowering and you're just like dropping immediately, then you're done. You don't need to do anymore. You need to do something different. You need to stay with some tension. Otherwise, those drops don't really do anything for you. It's only 3 rounds, and the rep scheme is small enough that I could do 8 and 12 and back and forth, and I just wouldn't blast it out. Again, I'm brand new. I've been here less than a month. I would learn and practice that movement. And then I would also learn and understand how to control my core in the ring row. So I would just move through that workout nice and easy. If I am the last one in the workout, like everyone's done, yay, they're all done. You're like, crap, it's just me left. I probably would just be like, all right, I'm done, whatever. So again, we are learning. We're not trying to blow through new levels of fitness. It's all about the mechanics and understanding my body, doing it slow. So Cam, if you're still listening, this is how I would do this workout. Maybe you got workouts. Actually, let me know what your workouts are. Show me, and I will tell you what I would do to help you out, buddy. All right, and then I would, of course, roll and stretch. You see right here below are the bright spots. Actually, if you're listening to this, you can't see it. And make sure you are adding results into the bright spots so that you can see your progress through the individual events. All right, Thursday, February 2nd, what I would do. It's snatch at the beginning. And we are doing every 2 minutes, we're doing sets of 5. So I'm brand new. Overhead squat is going to be super nasty, or snatches are going to be super nasty. Overhead squat is going to be nasty. I would probably limit myself to the overhead squat and just do overhead squats with probably the lighter bar. I might go with 15 or 35. It is a tough movement, and I know it. So I'm going to ask, hey, how's my squat look? How is this bar up? Am I engaged? And then I am going to lift at the every 2 minute mark, but I'm going to have a lighter weight. So instead of doing, maybe the 3 number, instead of 3 snatches, I probably would do something like maybe 6, maybe 3, put it down, take a deep breath, do 3 more. And you know what? I actually would change this a little bit. If I was brand new, I'd probably go every minute on the minute, because I'm not really pushing a lot of weight and I'm working on that form. So this will help keep me sweaty and warm for the next part of the workout. Oh, and for everybody, I would totally work on squatting into it. There is a much higher degree of correlation between range of motion and longevity and that good life when you're older versus strength and longevity in the good life. So if you have to skew one way or the other, Our goal here is happy, humble, helpful people who want to be healthy and fit now as well as when we're 90. That portion as well as when we're 90, or I want to be able to coach my kids, so older, range of motion is key. Mobility is key. Is more key. More key? Is keyer? More key. I don't know what that word is. Then strength. So still do strength, but range of motion. All right, this is perfect. I should have read it ahead and I didn't. So the workout itself is 500 overhead squat, burpee over. So it's a weird naming convention we came up with so that we could track these workouts. It is 18 minutes, so it's on the longer side of CrossFit. You have a 500-meter row. You can use that to relax if you need to. I'm brand new again. I'm only a month in. 8 overhead squats at 75 pounds. Okay, it's light for everybody else, so therefore I'm going to make it even lighter. So I'm probably going to use the 15-pound bar. I'll probably still do 8 because I'm going to work on that skill. And then it's 8 lateral burpees over the bar. So the bar's just going to be on the ground. I'm not even going to worry about that just in case I trip or do something silly. I'm just going to do burpees. I may even move this to up, down. No, I wouldn't. I would do burpees so that I'm using other parts of my body and it takes me a little bit longer. That way I can be more flexible when I get back to the overhead squat. You get done with that, you go back to the row, you're doing 500 meters. I would still do 500 meters because it's going to take me more time and I can utilize that to kind of get my breath back, to feel my back and my legs and like where am I at and move through that range of motion, which is the reverse of the overhead squat. You're compressing down, and the row you're pushing out, but it's going to let you use that motion. So I would also, for everybody else, make sure you're using the row to keep proper form. So if you're doing a row where your hips are sliding out and your arms are jacking up and down, just think about the row as the beginning of a clean or a deadlift. You wouldn't do that with weight, so why are you doing that on the row? Keep it nice and steady. Let the chain go in nice and easy. All right. On Friday, the main event will be the older CrossFit Games Open workout. So there is an EMOM, again, brand new person. He's got dumbbell thrusters on first minute. Second minute is toes to bar, knee raises, totally doing knee raises. And minute 3 is double unders. This is great. As a brand new person, I am going to work on those thrusters with a light dumbbell. That's perfect. And then I'm going to do knee raises. I need to learn to engage the core. Maybe beginning working on that rocking back on the hollow rock in the Superman, right? To get that kipping position. The double unders, I don't know double unders yet, so there's progression. I'm probably just going to stick with single unders. So I'll do the progression, the high jump, and then the singles, and then single, single, double. I'll try it. But if I'm super brand new and never really double jump, then I am going to work on single unders and make sure I can get that down first. Next thing is the games workout. So it's 20.2. I would immediately go to the scaled. I'm going to look at this and say, oh, it's dumbbell thrusters, 4 of them, 6 hanging knee raises, just did those, and 24 single unders. Great, I was just working on those. The weight is 35 pounds. I'm brand new. So I have a choice. Wow, this has been kind of interesting. I have 20 minutes to do this workout. You know what I might do just so I can say I scored at least 4 points? I may grab 35-pound dumbbells and a set of 10-pound dumbbells. Start the workout and do 4 dumbbell thrusters. I just practiced them with the 35 pounds and say, look, my score is 4. And then immediately put those down, do my hanging knee raises, do my single unders. Actually, I guess those would count as reps too. And then do the 10 pound. Or actually, you know what would be even smarter is I've got 10 pound weights, I've got 20 pound weights, and then I've got my 35 pound weights. I would do the first round with the 10 pound. I would do the second round with the 20. And if I'm feeling good, like, hey, this is working for me, I can do 4 of these, I would go again with the 35s. And you have 20 minutes. So maybe you stay at 10s twice. Maybe you stay at 20s twice. I don't know. You need to judge that time. But I definitely would not do it as a games. Like, I am going to crush the crap out of this. I've got 20 minutes to kill this thing. No, you're brand new. It's been less than a month. That is not what you're here to do. What you're here to do is to learn how to do fantastic stuff and do the common uncommonly well. But you could cheat into it a little bit and say, well, let me try a progression of dumbbells and see how I feel. You may get to that 35 and go, yeah, that's not happening. And that's great. Don't do it, right? There's no reason to push yourself as you learn. You want to give yourself permission to get all of that under your belt before you do the other stuff. I would do this vastly different if it were me or if it was somebody who's been here at the gym, but that was the point, is to say how I would do it if I was brand new. Okay, guys, if you have questions or things you would like me to talk about, text them to me, email them. Actually, email would be best. If you email me, Andy@CrossFitGarage.com, I can queue it up and put it on my list and make sure I cover it. Thanks, guys. Look forward to seeing you soon.